pick me.
I just can't choose. I just can't tell any major differences between you two physiologically or like what your powers would do to my body.
Well, how about you watch the entire Twilight series? So that way you can get to know both of us and maybe even make an informed decision.
Okay, for you. And you.
Okay, I like this one. It makes my boobs look good.
I've resisted doing Twilight for a long time because I'd be only like the 9 millionth hack internet creator to be like, oh, well, sparkly vampires, that's dumb. I miss when they were serious and they were afraid of seasonings. I like when vampires are serious and they're scared of garlic. But like 100-year-old sparkly diamond man smelling the blood of a minor, I am finally giving in to my basest desires and shooting my shot.
Like I care, you know?
Hopefully my perspective will be somewhat unique, because, you know, I am a cis white straight male.
Like I care, you know?
AKA this movie's target demographic. Be sure to stay tuned for my upcoming video. I get zipped up inside an old black lady bodysuit until I explain all 13 Medea movies.
I want to see you do it!
Alright, for the 7 of you still watching, ooh, Summit Entertainment? Are we saying this is the peak of entertainment? Like, we finally crested the possibilities of human creativity?
I'd never given much thought.
Let me stop you right there, voiceover. Same girl. Much like the writer of these books, I've never given much thought to as evidenced by how I opened this video.
Just hurry the hell up.
But anyway, now that the majority of weak-willed muggles have clicked off this video, because see, I know Twilight, let's really dig into the underage girl meat of this story.
Right to jail.
Seriously, like, don't waste your time.
We got a deer running around that is, I guess, really contemplating its mortality and whether it'd sacrifice its life for someone else.
Dying in the place of someone I love seems like a good way to go.
Wait, is Twilight just Bambi from Bambi's mom's perspective? Why did I think that Twilight was about having sex with the coldest and or hairiest penises possible?
Guys, come on, I love you both.
I don't know. But POV, you're chasing Bambi's mom and you're probably eating her?
They're eating her, and then they're going to eat me. Oh my God!
Man, don't let Bambi see this footage. Except, okay, now we're in Phoenix, Arizona, which is obvious because this girl's holding a cactus. Those only grow in Phoenix, Arizona. And she's leaving Phoenix, Arizona with her cactus to go live with her cop daddy in a cutlery-themed village in Washington State.
There's a small town named Forks.
Oh, Forks.
But anyway, she and her cactus are again leaving Phoenix, Arizona because her mom is hooking up with a minor league baseball player.
Guys, come on, I love you both.
Because this movie wastes zero opportunities to show us how awesome it is to hook up with minors. Also, am I crazy or is every single divorced dad in a movie also a cop? Oh, yeah, still. Is it possible to be a divorced lawyer dad or a YouTuber dad? I'll let you know on that second one. I have 3 kids. Join my Patreon in case my wife leaves me for a minor or a baseball player or both.
I wasn't planning on it.
Apparently Cop Daddy has zero left because he parks in the mud between 2 driveways, just obliterating the front yard. This is why we need to get rid of qualified immunity. And also,
Oh, right. One bathroom.
meaning that our protagonist named Bella is gonna be parking in the mud herself, if you know what I mean. I've got a feeling that Cop Daddy sometimes poops on the toilet seat.
One of the best things about Charlie, he doesn't hover.
That was the point I was making. By the way, if you on the seat and then sit on it, that's called a bachelor pad.
Actually, that's a good one.
Quick poll, what are we thinking about the color green?
Purple's cool.
Not my question, but okay, good to know.
Thanks.
Outside, a Native American named Billy Black, because Billy Jack was actually a white guy, literally rolls up in his wheelchair along with his not yet sexy ass son, Jacob. Interestingly,
Hi, I'm Jacob.
Jacob and Bella also have a somewhat scatologically oriented past relationship.
We used to make mud pies when we were little.
This is poop.
Hey Dave, do you remember when we used to together?
Right. No, I remember.
Oh man, where's the time gone? Down the toilet. If you're one of my children watching this video in the future, please turn this video off.
Am I always like this?
It's getting worse with old age.
And also avenge my murder. It's the only way I'll stop haunting you, by leaving bachelor pads all over the house. But hey, these guys haven't just brought dad jokes and shit memories.
After I ram you in the
Cop Daddy also bought a shit truck from them
This?
What do you think?
that Bella is absolutely going to wreck at some point because she's got girl coordination.
Oh my gosh. Sorry.
Bella drives her truck to school and is immediately accosted by a sassy, straight friend.
Hi, I'm Eric, the eyes and ears of this place.
You're straight?
Okay? Then Bella sucks ass at a little volleyball.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Gossips with some kids about how the swim team, like Dave, probably has fake penises.
Speedo padding on the swim team.
You know, high school stuff. But then, in walk a bunch of inbred adoptees known as the Cullens. Apparently, they're all sexing each other.
I'm not even sure that's legal.
Thanks to the matchmaking abilities of their adoptive father, Dr. Cullen.
Dr. Collins like this foster dad / matchmaker.
But incest is
There's only one of them that's not having sibling sex, and it's smoldering Edward here. Ooh, God, so hot, so iron deficient. Almost as if he doesn't spend a lot of time in the daylight. You know, like Batman.
You know, he's one of those guys who'd be like an axe murderer.
Bella walks past an inexplicably blowing fan on her way into biology class, and it wafts her scent so hard at Edward that he immediately Cullens his pants.
Edward came.
Seriously, it's like 45 degrees outside. Why is there an oscillating fan in this room like it's in the middle of summer in Zimbabwe? Is this like a weird conservative trick to keep teenagers from horning it up? Like keep them so cold they don't get hot? Well, too late, because Edward tries to switch out of biology so he won't have to bring an extra pair of pants to school every day, but no nice!
I'm afraid you'll have to stay in biology.
I want to kill you so much.
It looks like somebody's gonna need to head to Costco. Or I guess instead you could skip class for a week. By the way, my therapist says that
Butt crack Santa
isn't real and can't hurt me or lick his lips at me. But I mean, I'm not the only one seeing this, right? Ugh.
Yeah, you remember me? Butt crack Santa?
Also, here's a dude killed in a warehouse. Is that butt crack Santa's doing? I guess not, because these sexy shirtless weirdos kill.
butt crack Santa.
Christmas is dead.
Hello.
All right.
What is this, Narnia? Keep watching to find out. Slip. Looks like Ed's back in class, presumably wearing an astronaut condom because he refuses to get new pants, and he and Bella chat.
Hello?
And Bella's like, just so you know.
Any cold, wet thing, I don't really.
And I really love when conversations in movies continue without missing a beat despite a location change.
I believe you.
Why don't you move with your mother and Phil?
Were they just silent for the past 15 minutes, staring at each other hungrily, waiting for class to end so they could continue their conversation in the hallway? I wonder if they left that in the Snyder Cut of this movie. Dave, go find the Snyder Cut of this movie.
Bella, you need to be afraid of me.
I don't know. But Bella changes locations again and is almost immediately plowed
So how long have you been 18 for anyhow?
by a car. But it's cool because Ed pulls a Flash, Ezra Miller style, meaning that he runs real fast and then commits property damage before eventually grooming and then kidnapping a minor.
League baseball player.
Fortunately, Bella's unhurt in this specific moment, and the driver is like, so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry, Bella. I'm so sorry, Bella.
And Bella is like, damn, boy, how you saved me? And Ed tries to gaslight her into thinking that he actually, like, barely saved her.
I was standing right next to you, Bella.
And he was standing like right there and moving at a totally normal speed. And also, you do really crazy things when you're drunk, Bella, like eat all the Oreos without remembering. That was your fault.
What did you do during those hours that night?
I don't remember.
Well, nobody's gonna believe you.
But she's not having it.
I know what I saw.
Basically vampire.
And they dance around whether they should or should not bang each other for a not insignificant amount of runtime.
I want to find the bad guy.
Okay, well, let's say for argument's sake that I'm
Crazy
crazy horny.
He keeps being like, don't date me, but also I'm gonna sneak into your room every night and smell you like an unsolved mysteries reenactment. And she's like, oh, I want you to sniff me hard. Sniff me like a countertop in a 70s disco bathroom, you pale, pale boy. It's some powerful, dialogue-driven relationship drama.
I mean, you don't even say hi to me.
Hi.
More like before Twilight. Am I right?
Made me feel cold.
That's a joke that every Twilight fan will definitely get. They love Linklater jokes. They love his entire filmography. Have you seen those movies? Of course not, because you're dumb as shit.
It's not Twilight.
I did see Twilight.
Where are you?
Right here.
After a while, Bella gets invited to the beach, but Ed doesn't want to go, and she's like,
Is there something wrong with that beach?
and it's like, yeah, obviously it makes you old. The beach makes you old. It's a bad beach.
There's something wrong with this beach.
You got that right.
And as we've established, aging is a big turnoff for Ed.
You got that right.
But she goes anyway and walks with Jacob for a minute, who's like, yeah, so the Cullens and the Quileutes, which is the tribe that I'm a part of, yeah, we don't like each other because we used to be enemy clans. But aren't the Cullens like entirely adopted? Seems weird to think of them as this epoch-spanning family when there's only like one dude who counts as a Cullen, right? What happened to the rest of the Cullen clan? Are they all in pervert prison? Dave, did you meet any Cullens last time you were in pervert prison? You're not answering. Yeah, you're just staring into the middle distance. Are you all right?
How you doing? All right. Can you have a seat over in that chair, please?
Bella is as confused as me.
What?
And to her credit, instead of turning to utterly broken Google or buying a book off of literally evil Amazon, she instead tracks down a local bookstore with a book on something related, I guess, so that she can learn more the old-fashioned way. Now, the place also, unfortunately, sells Rush Limbaugh books, but like the Cullens, he's a dead bloodsucker, so it's fine.
It makes her a slut.
All right, I can see that you, the audience, are starting to lose focus. So here's some shots of Anna Kendrick's ample bosoms. Here they are in the sun.
Yank them out.
Here they are popping out of a dress.
Okay, I like this one.
Apparently made for children.
It makes my boobs look good.
You're not wrong.
I'm distracted by my cleavage. Can I say that?
You can, because you're totally right again.
This is great. I really want to be here doing this. This is awesome.
Let's get back to it. Bella gets accosted in an alleyway by some drunk dudes, but she's immediately saved by Edward Cullen, stunt driver.
That was a very dangerous maneuver.
They drive at the speed of vehicular manslaughter for a bit because, like Dominic Toretto, Edward lives his not life a quarter mile at a time.
Can you talk about something else?
The movies.
Until they arrive at a restaurant because Edward wants to
Make sure Bella gets something to eat.
maybe in case he needs to suck her later. I mean, pineapple is supposed to be good, right?
I should eat something.
They're being served, interestingly, by Rachel from Blade Runner, it looks like, and Edward reveals that he only thinks about 3 things.
Money, sex, cat.
These are a few of my favorite things.
Oh wait, no, he can just read other people's minds, and that's what they're thinking about. But the one person he can't read is Bella. But to be honest, there's not much going on in there anyway.
Okay, well, let's say for argument's sake that I'm not smart.
And she takes all of this news in stride like, makes sense, I'm a Toydarian. Your vampire mind tricks don't work on me.
I can read every mind in this room, apart from yours.
My tricks gonna work on me. Only penis.
And then in the car, they Disney moment each other's hands, and she's like, that's cold. And her dad supports all of this, by the way, and hands her a dildo.
I want you to carry this with you.
How you doing? All right. Can you have a seat over in that chair, please?
Oh, no, sorry, that's a can of pepper spray. It's like the opposite. But to be fair, doesn't mean you can't use it for one or the other or both. Am I right, Dave? It's like Hot Ones in your crotch. Tell me you wouldn't watch an interview show where after each round of interviews, they spray some pepper spray into your genitals.
I would like to see you on just sticking hot wings up your asshole.
How you doing? All right. Can you have a seat over in that chair, please?
Bella heads home and does a little research. She Googles cold one, which realistically should give her like 30,000 results about Natty Light. But miraculously, she ends up learning that Edward is a vampire. Basically, the Natty Light of mythical monsters. And oops, I guess this reveals that she is technically a necrophile.
Necrophilia is not my thing.
Then ask me the most basic question. What do we eat?
But it's fine, because they cleared this all up in the sexy fan fiction. And yes, I didn't mention this in the 50 Shades video, but 50 Shades of Grey was originally Twilight fan fiction. Then E.L. James just changed the names, made him slightly less sparkly, and her slightly more naked, and boom goes the dynamite. Profit.
You sure?
Yeah.
You know, you can do that with really any story. Welcome to my masterclass. Anyway, the next day they janky slow-mo off into the woods together so she can confront him about the whole drinking blood for sustenance thing. And he's like,
I want to hear you say it.
And she's like,
Vampire.
And I'm like,
Damn right.
you know how Game of Thrones basically invented sex position? That is exposition but delivered while people have sex in the background to keep us from zoning out? Well, Twilight invented jumps position, which is exposition delivered while a vampire hops from tree to tree to keep us from ever finding joy. Ed hates being a vampire, I guess.
This is the skin of a killer, Bill.
In part because they're like vegetarians, in that they only eat deer blood, which, okay, so sounds like you get to be smug like every other vegetarian, but you also get to technically eat meat? That doesn't sound so bad.
Being vegan just makes you better than most people.
Bingo.
But also, he sparkles in the sunshine, which, there's no joke I could write here that hasn't already been written, so I'll just say, I'm sorry that you hate your sparkles, Ed. Has anybody ever said that to you? I feel your pain. You are known. You are loved. You are John C. Hey! This joke is played out, editor of this section, who is me. I guess it's true what they say. The hardest battles you'll ever fight is against John C. Just kidding, Brian Slack edited this section primarily, but I thought it'd be funnier if I pretended that I edited this section, which, to be fair, I will go back through and edit this section, but I don't wanna write Brian Slack out of history. Thanks, Brian.
You're welcome.
But Bella basically ends up with 3 takeaways from their long, boring-ass conversation. 1, he's a
Vampire.
2, he wants
blood.
And 3, he probably has gonorrhea. I mean, the dude became a vampire in 1918 after Daddy Cullen bit him to save him from dying of the Spanish influenza or the World War onesies or whatever was going on in that time. And you're telling me that this sparkly sex machine has been around for 100 years and doesn't have a venereal disease? Jackpot! Grow up. Oh, also, Bella's in love with him. That was the third thing.
That a real law?
Yeah, don't think that's gonna hold up in human or vampire court. Spoiler, there will be a vampire court. The world building is impeccable.
I want to go to the vampire DMV.
Oh my god, you have to wait forever because you can. They're like, I'm in no rush. You will never die.
So come register your coffin or whatever you do as a vampire.
But anyway, so now they're dating. And it's great because he can open her door like so fast. He's a gentleman, but faster than a normal gentleman.
You are no knight.
The only downside is Billy Black is as unthrilled about Edward as age-appropriate Jacob is horny for Bella.
Just keeping it real, son.
Bella goes to meet Edward's family, who are maybe a bit racist towards Dave's people.
We're making Italiano for you.
Let me just put down this meatball sub here with extra mozzarella, hey!
They're also a bit racist towards others, as we'll later learn. But unfortunately, Bella already ate because she knows they only eat deer blood or whatever, so she's, trying to not eat that.
She already ate.
But this makes one of Edward's sisters very upset.
It hurts.
She thinks cross-species dating is gross, I guess, but don't knock it till you try it. Dave's always telling me that it's pretty, as long as nobody films it, it doesn't count. Did you know that in, there's like some Hispanic country where they have sex with donkeys to become men?
This guy is about to have sex with a donkey.
Donkey!
Did you read that on the back of a Snapple?
Fun fact! They wander around and find a wall of
graduation caps?
Because the Cullens have graduated from high school like 1 billion times, because as Edward says,
the younger we start out in a new place, the longer we can stay there.
Which sort of makes sense, and is also true of every ball pit I've ever played in.
Bazinga.
Well, let's actually consider this for a bit. So, in the 1300s, when everybody was either a king or known merely as peasant number 397, it would have been super easy for a vampire to hide their immortality. But with each passing year, the likelihood that we have shiny, immortal beings banging high schoolers amongst us, it decreases.
That's a relief.
Not just because advanced technology makes it so much easier to mass produce silver bullets and sacred daggers and garlic, but also because it takes so much paperwork to be a human. Everyone is massively on the grid, especially, let's say, a pale, wealthy, malnourished teenage sex vampire like Edward Cullen.
Perfect.
And sure, he keeps his pleasure mansion sufficiently stocked with hair gel and rouge and body glitter to help him look young and hip. But aren't they taking pictures of him at every single graduation? He's about to be on so many iPhones, which means iCloud, which means we're this close to an Edward Cullen fapping.
Are you fapping?
And we as a society are not prepared.
Ew! So much wetness! Ew!
Does that mean we're all gonna crank our hugs to Edward?
Yeah, in the future we're gonna do that. We haven't already been.
I've literally never done that before.
Good. Right. Right.
Let's just keep pretending like this isn't dangerous for all of us.
The books say that their little vampire family moves every 6 to 7 years, but how did they manage to get him in new high schools without a real birth certificate? Does the principal not notice that he was born pre-depression? And more importantly, I don't know that getting 2 or 3 extra years is worth taking AP Bio dozens and dozens of times. I'm already having night terrors about having to learn new math for my kids' homework. Can Edward not think of anything better to do with his time than hang out with people 90 years his junior and watch them learn about flatworms over and over and over? I mean, if Ed could sleep, he'd be waking up every night from nightmares screaming about how the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
Mitochondria are the powerhouses of the human body.
Also, you and your siblings all look like you're in your 20s. Maybe try college for a while or get a job? Actually, it's very funny to think that Daddy Cullen has been the only idiot supporting this entire family of slackers for centuries. They just have no aspirations in life except to hook up with their siblings.
That's what I'm saying, man. All these lazy vampires coming into our country.
Into our country! Not taking our jobs, to be fair.
It's very considerate of you.
Even if his dad is able to counterfeit 100 birth certificates and Edward obscures the graduation photos with silly faces, how is he going to hide his wealth? Edward resets his life by pretending to be his own heir and then bequeathing his fortune to himself, but realistically, it would take so much work. Edward might as well eat every estate lawyer in the world, buy a wig, and pretend that he found a bag of money. The government might not believe in vampires per se, but the convoluted paper trail, unexplained money, and proximity to f***ed up deer crossing mother still suggests that they're fugitive spies, terrorists, or something even worse. Whether it's a cop, IRS agent, journalist, or To Catch a Predator on NBC,
how you doing?
Somebody's gonna rat their asses out eventually, and like my grandma always says, you can only suck so many people and woodland creatures dry before somebody discovers your secret identity. And that's one situation you can't suck your way out of. Usually.
She's gone from suck to blow.
But let's forget about all that for now. After all, they're in love. And speaking of, Edward loves the bussy.
Debussy.
Weird way to pronounce it, but I guess you are over 100 years old. How about we climb around outside and run around at super speeds? And no, I refuse to show the Spider Monkey clip. That's how you know that I'm different. This ain't your grandma's unhinged review / recap of Twilight.
You better hold on tight, Spider Monkey.
Betrayed by the editor once again.
You're welcome.
My monkey man.
I will say actually that apparently Robert Pattinson had like 10 lines to choose from right here. So you know, this was a choice that Robert Pattinson made. Just like the choice to drop nuclear bombs on Japan. Think about that.
You better hold on tight.
John C.
Anyway, here Edward is playing the Twilight soundtrack and sneaking into his underage girlfriend's room to really slow make out with her until he comes himself into the wall.
Stop it.
Edward came.
He really is the complete package. I don't know who wouldn't want to date this guy. Later, Bella hands her dad another beer while he plays with his gun in the kitchen. Because this is a girl that wants to have sex with a 100-year-old man who literally wants to drink her blood. You think she's worried about gun safety? Grow up.
He's a little old for you, isn't he?
She's all about having fun and playing baseball in the woods during a thunderstorm with vampires while blasting Muse.
Time.
Although she's only allowed to be the umpire because her curveball is shit.
I'm the one with the wicked curveball.
To be fair, the vampires are quite literally doping in the sense that they're injecting themselves with red blood cells.
She thinks we cheat.
Well, I know you cheat.
The Cullens? More like the Armstrongs. Uh-oh. An electric guitar squeal portends the arrival of more and different sexy vampires who are also hoping to play baseball.
Could you use 3 more players?
Why do they all like baseball?
Love baseball. Love pound cake more.
I don't know. Except, oh shit, the white boy smells Bella, which portends the end of baseball time. Really should have used your garlic shampoo this week, Bella. But this vampire, named James, is a real dirtbag by even vampire standards, who just loves the thrill of the hunt. So 2 of Ed's siblings take Bella to Phoenix, Arizona to hide, while the rest go off to hunt dirtbag James. Of course, Cop Daddy won't let her go that easily, so she's an absolute asshole to him.
Yeah, and you know, if I don't get out now, then I'm just gonna be stuck here like Mom.
That hurt. Except, if there's one thing we know about her dad, it's that he's passive and hands-off.
He doesn't hover.
He would let her go if she just asked. She doesn't need to completely eviscerate him and metaphorically crush his balls into a powder. I am now so terrified of my daughters dating vampires when they grow up. Not because they'll get sucked by 100-year-olds.
How you doing?
But because they might hurt my feelings. Anyway, Bella and friends arrive at a classy Phoenix, Arizona hotel where a kick-ass band is also staying. I mean,
Look at all your different colored hats.
and the girl vampire named Alice can see a subjective future where they all end up in Bella's old ballet studio. Which, like, I mean, if you're offering...
I'll do whatever it takes to make you
Crazy horny.
What is it? What do you see?
Okay. But then 5 seconds later, dirtbag James calls and is like,
Forks High School doesn't protect its students' privacy very well.
I've got your mom, Bella. Why don't we meet in, I don't know, your old ballet studio? How does he even know about there? Like, why meet there, of all the places? Surely murdering somebody in an Arby's parking lot is just as good. I mean, why else is every Arby's parking lot just stacked with bodies? Is that where they get the roast beef meat from?
Arby's.
She heads there, the ballet studio, not Arby's, can you imagine? And is like,
I'd never given much thought to how I would die.
here's where my opening monologue came from. Me contemplating whether I'd literally die at Mimi's. But inside the studio, she realizes that dirtbag James was actually just using a recording of her mom, a la Ferris Bueller.
Mom, they suck.
And he's like, actually, I love recordings.
We're gonna make a little film of our time together.
So I'm gonna make a sex/snuff film of our time together here as well. But unfortunately for dirtbag James, she's a squirter.
She's a squirter. She's squirting. We got a squirter.
Dirtbag James manages to break her leg and nom her a bit. But then Ed shows up for a superhero ass fight. Then reinforcements arrive and they break dirtbag James's dirtbag neck and set him on dirtbag fire. While Ed tries to suck the vampire poison out of Bella without sucking like too hard, you know? It's all about control down there, in my experience. Also, yes, Dave, it is important to make faces like this so that she knows that you're really having a good time, because the mind, I mean, that's the biggest sex organ, after all. Bella wakes up in the hospital and there's a whole cover story about her clumsy ass falling down the stairs and getting bit, I guess?
Well, when you fell, you broke your leg. And you lost a lot of blood.
And broke your butt.
I'm sure that'll be an effective cover story.
Just 2 fangs at the bottom of the stairs. It was crazy. It was like, was there a spirit of Halloween in here?
Yeah, you would not believe the series of events that preceded this happening.
You don't remember any of this, do you?
Anyway, Ed is initially like, hey, we shouldn't date, and Bella takes it very well.
How? I don't even know what you're saying. How?
So never mind.
I'm here.
They head back to prom with Bella sporting a boot and chuck combo because Ed is like, this is a rite of passage. We need to go to prom. And like he would know, he's probably gone to like 27 proms. Like 50% of the Cullen family fortune goes to tux rentals for their creepy prowler kids.
You're gonna like the way you I guarantee it.
Outside, Jacob literally appears from the woods like me haunting any of my children who didn't heed my advice earlier about not watching this video. And Jacob's like, my dad said that he'd give me $20 to tell you to break up with Edward. Anyway, bye!
We'll be watching you.
They dance a bit outside.
See, you're dancing.
And discuss whether or not Ed should suck Bella for real and make her a vampire for real.
And you're ready right now.
And she's totally down.
Yes.
But Ed's got commitment issues, like, does he really want to deal with this turd forever? And not only that, what if she doesn't peak until she's a little older? I'd recommend waiting a few years, Edward. My wife, for example, is still getting hotter in her 30s.
Hey.
Nice.
Though counterpoint, Dave's almost the same age and looks like he'll drop dead at any moment. Oh right, that other mean vampire chick named Victoria is still around, and she's mad about dirtbag James' death, and she's out here teasing sequels.
But I won't give in.
I'm going on a trip. Can I come?
No.
What? Why? We love trips. Remember when I got in your back?
Yeah, but this one's a personal trip. I may not be back.
What?
Yeah.
Ever?
Yeah.
Okay, well then
It's
I'm
dangerous.
I can be dangerous. I'm gonna drive motorcycles and shit.
You don't even know where I'm going.
Well, I know where I'm going. It's to the chop shop to get a motorcycle, and I'm gonna drive it so fast, and he's gonna help me fix it.
I wish you wouldn't ride the motorcycle.
I'm gonna ride the motorcycle, and you can't tell me not to because you're in somewhere that you won't even tell me.
This is very upsetting. I'm gonna disappear.
Come on, Gary. Let's go watch the next Twilight.
You know, anabolic steroids are really bad for you.
Well, I'm just filling out, Bella.
You know how you can tell if a moon is new? If it's orange, apparently, which is why in many families they drink what they call new moon juice for breakfast.
Minute Maid is born from the goodness of...
It makes me thirsty.
Fill her up, Dad.
Which is different from the daddy juice that I have with breakfast.
What's daddy juice?
Also, I guess Bella has been watching Westworld because she is quoting it shamelessly.
Violent delights have violent ends.
Is that Shakespeare?
Oh, and also Handmaid's Tale because she's running through a bunch of red-robed, probably fertile people? Ugh, hack! What prestige TV show will they rip off next? Succession?
You're such f***ing dopes.
That actually already happened.
I will give you $1 million if you hit a home run.
Also, maybe Old People The Bachelor? Sure looks like it because here's Bella's grandma in a field, but oops, it's actually just old-ass Bella and spooky Ed's there, which is how you can tell it's a dream because what would Ed be doing with a fully grown adult woman?
I should be thoroughly repulsed.
Old-ass Bella, wake up!
Happy birthday.
Your dad got you a crappy digital camera and your mom got you a scrapbook. It's like the time that my mom got me a new toilet and my dad got me an Arby's coupon book.
We coordinated.
And they don't show it, but I bet Edward got her an abacus. Just the most forward-looking birthday ever, technologically speaking. Picture! So anyway, now it's senior year, and Ed is looking so hot right now, and he's very hotly parking long ways, like a complete ass. Takes up like 7 spaces. Even hotter?
I'm 109.
All right. She's like,
Maybe I shouldn't be dating such an old man.
But she does.
It's gross.
It's fine. She's 18 now. So instead, we're going to pivot to an awkward, almost romance between her and this beefy 16-year-old.
Hello, biceps.
How would a boy so young have arms so big?
Well, I'm just filling out, Bella.
Oh, okay. Here's a dream catcher. Hopefully it catches incriminating dreams about underage beefcakes.
That's kind of perfect.
Sick vampire chick jump. Alice invites Bella to their house for a birthday party, and to help convince her, Jasper, which is another vampire, I don't know if I mentioned him yet, he affects Bella's mood, which is a weird way to mispronounce.
Jasper, no fair.
But sure, her mood. I got your mood right here, Jasper.
Never mind.
Why do I feel so good? Jasper!
Yes.
Can't trust vampires.
Sorry, this movie is moving. And now we're watching Romeo and Juliet in class, and Ed is like, you know, I literally wish I could kill myself.
Suicide.
Which kind of mirrors my feelings right now, having to watch this.
Why would you say that?
No, seriously, the worst thing about being a vampire is that I can't kill myself, says Ed, teenage role model.
Little poison, dagger to the heart.
Shot in the butt.
So many different options.
And like, I'm sure you could if you really tried. Have you jumped in a volcano? I feel like this is more of a skill issue, TBH.
The only thing that can hurt me.
Miss John C.
Why would you say that?
Regardless, I feel like there might be other downsides to being a vampire that we should maybe consider in this movie for sad teens.
Eating disorders.
And Ed's like, you know, if I had sucked you so hard that you died in the last movie, Bella, I had a plan to get a bunch of Italian vampires to kill me. They'll kill anybody who breaks the rules of revealing themselves to human, which, Dave, if I reveal myself to you right now, will you kill me? You are so Italian. You could do it like this.
So many different options.
But no, I'm just joshing. Also, hey Bella, you are literally the only reason I, Edward, am alive right now. No pressure, but if you break up with me, I will have an Italian shove a cannoli through my ass all the way to my brain.
It's not true.
Not to put any pressure on our relationship, but I will die if you break up with me. And it will be your fault and your fault alone. Where do you want to get dinner later?
You're my only reason to stay.
At Olive Garden?
Oh look, a fun, awkward vampire birthday party. And hey, I didn't know Alice was a titty vampire. I was wondering if we'd get one of those. Ugh, I miss Underworld.
I'm
sorry, I can't.
Except, oops, Bella sucks at opening shit. Oh, it's a mummy! And she cuts her finger, making Jasper extremely eager to get out of her mood. But Ed protects Bella by just... She survives the encounter, but is then stitched up by Vampire Daddy, and it is a bit more sexually tense than I was expecting. Like, stitch me up, Vampire Daddy. Oh, but don't drink my blood, you naughty Vampire Daddy.
How do you do it?
Years and years of practice.
Also, Vampire Daddy is like, did you know that we're all pretty sure that vampires go to hell? If and when they're killed by Italians, I guess. Which is why Edward doesn't want to make you a vampire. Because hell is bad.
So that's it. That's why he won't me.
And she's like, okay, but I don't believe in that. But I'd recommend that you do some research, Bella. It sucked to go to hell when you never die because you'd be immortal, give or take Italians.
Hell is baked into everything we do.
Ed tries to kiss Bella, but really struggles. Oh, shit. Now Bella's like Bon Iver level sad, which is like so extra sad and so much more falsetto. She even folds their picture up in her scrapbook, which is a metaphor for how listening to Bon Iver makes me want to fold my face into my ass and jump off a cliff. And that last part is a little bit of foreshadowing because I'm a brilliant writer.
Why would you say that?
I've been to a Bon Iver concert.
I have too. It was very boring. Dude, I was at Bonnaroo, right? And everybody there is you know, high off their ass. They should be having fun. But like at one point he strums a chord and he gets down on his hands and knees and starts like turning pedal knobs. It's like, and everybody in the crowd is like, I don't even. They're like, I'm just gonna sit my ass in the mud, fall asleep.
It's just not normal.
But if you think Bella's sad now, just wait until Ed announces that the Cullens have to move because
Carlisle's supposed to be 10 years old and he looks.
Does that mean that they've been around here for 10 years? And if so, does that mean that the 18-year-old, 100-year-old Edward started here in 3rd grade? He just rolled in looking like this and was like, hey there, fellow 8-year-olds. My favorite things are Pokemon Yellow and Go-Gurt.
People are starting to notice.
Because again, this would have been 1999. Who wants to hop in the sandbox with my old, young, sparkly ass?
It's just not normal.
I actually think somebody should just let Ed and the other Cullens get Italian to death and be done with it. It's too weird. But what's even worse than Edward's increasingly creepy past is that he tells Bella that she's not invited on their exodus. So she tries what every desperate woman does and fakes an orgasm real quick.
I'm coming.
But it doesn't work because Ed is a selfish lover.
I don't want you to come.
And obviously, he still likes her, but I guess we're doing a Harry and the Hendersons thing now.
Get out of here! Can't you see we don't want you anymore?
You don't want me.
Anyway, Bella is again like, is this about the whole my soul thing? Because I told your dad I don't give a shit about my soul. Which, man, she better hope the devil isn't listening or he'll way rip her off if she tries to trade it for violin skills. You can't undervalue your soul like that. You never know when you're gonna need to trade it for violin skills.
Yes, you didn't know it, but I'm a fiddle player too.
If this is about my soul, take it. I don't want it.
But Ed's like, no, I want to break up because you're not good for me. And now you're legally an adult, obviously, which takes a lot of the spice out of our relationship.
You're just not.
17. How'd you get so old so fast?
I'm just sorry I let this go on for so long.
And then he leaves, completely abandoning her in the middle of the woods in the night. She's just in the woods by herself now. And her clumsy ass obviously trips over a branch. And I guess she slips into a coma or some shit. But it's fine because a nearly nude man wearing jorts finds her and carries her to safety. Thank God.
She's all right.
Now, okay, I'm sure everyone is just happy that she's safe. But if my daughter went missing and then I saw her being carried out of the woods in the middle of the night unconscious by a man wearing only jorts, I wouldn't be like, oh, they got a good Samaritan. What a kind fellow. At best, this guy is high off his ass on meth. But look, I've been friends with Dave for a long time, since we were 14. When he takes off his shirt, throws on jorts, and says he's going to look for unconscious women in the woods, I know it is time to call the police.
I thought he just liked cutoffs.
Me too.
It's also, jorts is literally the worst choice of what to wear if you're gonna go hiking in the woods.
I know. You're only wearing that because you're a pervert. You're not wearing that because it's like, oh, I got hot on my midnight hike. You are chafing so bad right now. But Bella seems completely fine, other than the fact that she gets just flattened by seasonal affective disorder for 3 straight months. Just laid the out by it. To cope, she writes a bunch of emails to Alice, who I guess the movie claims that she's good friends with. I guess they do both have breasts. That's how girl relationships work. I think I saw Love Lies Bleeding. They were great friends.
What were you doing with that big girl?
Just being friendly.
But Bella is such good friends with Alice that she doesn't even have her real email, so it just bounces back. But hey, how else are we gonna convincingly do a voiceover? Am I right?
It's like a huge hole.
Also, Bella has just the screamiest nightmares about, I assume, mitochondria.
Mitochondria are the powerhouses of the human body.
And doesn't like hanging out with her buds anymore until her dad is like, good grief.
That's it.
Just move to Florida with your mom already. You're clearly unhappy, and I just want to clean my gun while drinking beer late at night in peace. You scream every night. It's insane. Also, you call me Charlie all the time, but I'm your biological father. Why do you call me by my first name?
One of the best things about Charlie?
Nothing.
Just go to Jacksonville. Let me sleep for the love.
I don't want you to leave.
Great, yeah. And Bella's like, oh no, I want to stay. I'll hang out with my friends. It'll be fine. I'll go shopping. And phew, she convinced him. But actually, she doesn't even go shopping. That was a ruse. What a weird ruse.
Them, dude.
She's like, Dad, I'm going shopping. Hey, actually, I want to go to the movies. Cop Daddy's like, you lied to me?
Some girls like to shop.
Not all girls, apparently.
And she quickly realizes that if she does reckless shit, like go to the movies when she says she's going shopping, then the prudish ghost of Edward will float by and reprimand her like some kind of paranormal nun.
This is dangerous.
Is this a typical vampire power? It is honestly never explained in any capacity how he floats by and is like, don't do that, it's dangerous. And floats away. But maybe that's for the best. Whenever these movies try to have a plot, it's always repressed sex crimes.
I understand more than you'll never know.
Regardless, of course, this makes Bella want to reckless even harder, so she hops on the random middle-aged father of three's crotch rocket with no helmet.
If a rush of danger is what it takes to see him.
I feel like we could probably just play one of these hundreds of Dave & Buster's games, right?
Turn around.
Though, to be fair, she doesn't have a lot of stuff up there that she could even damage in the first place.
I'm not smart.
But Bella is like, riding the random crotches of various street men is just too inefficient.
That homeboy could have been
My one true love. Might be whoever you want me to be, honey.
So she procures a shitty motorcycle of her own and enlists the beefy help of Beefcake Boy Jacob to get it up and running so that she can recklessly ride her own crotch whenever she wants.
I brought you something.
You shouldn't have.
I saved it from the junkyard.
And again, yes, Jacob is 16, but remember,
Age is just a number, baby.
and are we really gonna begrudge Bella a little statutory when she's so sad that...
I don't really like music anymore.
I mean, to be fair, Bella, Bon Iver barely qualifies as music. You should listen to Don Broco. Or Sleep Token. What's another kind of like slightly off the radar kind of heavy band that I know that you don't? But whatever, let's montage the PG parts of their newfound relationship, including Bella hucking a raw-ass pizza slice at Jacob like any normal, soon-to-be Academy Award-nominated person would do. Either that or Washington State pizza is like Dairy Queen ice cream and that you could flip it upside down and throw it at a 16-year-old beefcake and all the toppings, they still won't fall off. Dairy Queen's the best.
What's up with you and age?
What's up with you and not caring about age? Movie/book/cameraman?
Sorry.
It is so easy to write characters who are of legally consenting age. The 8 key is just 2 over from the 6 key on your laptop. Why is it important that Jacob is 16?
Well, I'm really not into the whole cougar thing.
For example, according to breeding lore, Dave is definitely legal. But according to breeding life, Dave is so young. Okay, seriously, what is up with her nightmares? I'm not sure how breaking up with somebody translates to waking up screaming in the middle of the night. Also, I guess that dream catcher is some defective bullshit, huh? Thanks, Jacob.
I thought this thing was starting to work, but...
Anyway, they finish the motorcycle and Bella drives it so recklessly, which inevitably causes the prude ghost of Ed to show up and be like, oh, stop it, I'm a ghost, ooh, you don't want me to get mad, ooh. But ironically, the fact that he keeps popping up sporadically while she drives is what causes Bella to crash. Even worse for Ed and Bella's mounting legal troubles, Jacob rips his shirt off to mop some blood on her head, and she says,
"You're sort of beautiful."
Except wait, now she agrees to a half date with the sad white guy in their friend group? Wasn't he dating Anna Kendrick last movie? What kind of colossal idiot would break up with Anna Kendrick?
My boobs look good.
I don't know, but their date quickly devolves into a devil's threesome, as I guess Jacob is also invited, and both boys proffer their dainty hands in case Bella wants to try the old Regal Cinemas handy, as they say.
Can't let any old riffraff into this.
So I got that going for me.
But then Mike goes to puke.
What a marshmallow.
I know, right? What Bella needs is
someone who laughs at the gore that makes weaker men vomit.
Yeah, nothing signifies strength like making fun of movie violence. That's why I'm so fertile and have 3 kids and a Patreon. Sign up today so I can keep showing great power at making fun of on-screen gore, and also so I can make off-screen babies.
Yeah, I'll keep my eye open for that.
But then Jacob gets mean and hot.
You're really hot.
And runs away for several minutes of screen time so Bella can be sad again. When she finally catches up with him, Jacob is wet and naked, just like his wet, naked woods Betty's, and he's like, I've got some big things going on, and I can see that. Several big throbbing things by my count. Good thing you're beefier than a kosher barbecue.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Still, sad Bella then runs into the sort of head vampire of the alt-vamp clan from the last movie, and he's like, I'm gonna kill you, because like Jacob slapped between 2 thick slices of rye bread.
You are so mouth-watering.
But then a bunch of wolves attack, so she escapes and tells her dad that the recent string of hiker deaths in the area that I forgot to mention until now are the result of some big-ass wolves. Ungrateful, they saved you.
I mean, they're like huge wolves.
Are you sure about that, Bella?
Later that night, Naked Jakey parkours into her room like, well, parkoured into movies during the aughts. Like every freaking movie had parkour. You remember that? Like Casino Royale had the parkour. Like every movie in this time frame was like, you know what's tight is parkour. And anyway, they talk about secrets and shit, and Bella's like, hey.
Oh, maybe we should just get out of here for a while.
You literal legal child. I've got a big rapey truck out back. It's full of candy. Do you like candy? And then Jacob runs away. Smart naked boy. So smart, so naked, so boy.
Well, I've got loads. Come.
But Bella won't be satisfied until Jacob's tied up licking Snickers off the floor of her truck bed.
You have no idea how tight I'm bound.
So she confronts his naked boyfriends and slaps one so hard that he becomes a werewolf. Surprise!
Oh, it's mommy!
And then double surprise, Jacob is there and he shreds his shit and transforms into a werewolf himself, and the 2 werewolves fight so hard that they literally knock over the camera. Well, I guess the wolf's out.
It's the wolf's out of the bag.
Ah, damn it. Beat me to it. So great. Now we know these naked boys are actually naked werewolves. And yes, everyone including me loves to rip on the inexplicable decision to depict mythical man-wolves as mostly just half-naked teenage boys, as if that's not the entire reason that Google invented incognito mode. But to be fair, the movies give no clear explanation for why the woods of Washington state often glisten with the smooth, hairless chests of the Quileute tribe. But actually, there is an in-universe justification for them nips, and it's because they're poor, you bigots.
We should switch schools. You can come hang out with the palefaces.
According to the creators, when werewolves are teenagers, they're not just terrible at controlling their erections, they also suck at reining in their hairy side. Sorry, that sounds like a dick thing again. I mean, they're not good at not transforming into werewolves. Basically, every time they run into a particularly majestic Great Pyrenees or whatever, the clothes that they're wearing are pretty much a lot to get shredded in the inevitable anamorphing process. But like my grandma always used to say, strip before you rip, or you'll rip where you should have stripped.
Are you sure about that?
According to the filmmakers, the Quileute don't have a lot of money because OnlyFans wasn't invented when these books and movies came out, and they can't afford to go to Walmart 5 times a day to replace their constantly busting shirts. See? Werewolves aren't just sexy, they're also economical. And besides, they need to save every cent for those weekly trips to the waxing salon for those chests. On the other hand, like I told Dave when he asked me what to wear to his next superhero-themed orgy, what about spandex? They don't have to wear rippable clothes.
Are you sure about that?
They've also claimed that werewolves have a higher average body temperature than normal humans, 108.9 degrees Fahrenheit, or like 69 degrees Kelvin. which explains how they can handle the Pacific Northwest cold without a thick coat of hair around their areolas.
69 degrees Kelvin would be like
insanely cold. But Dave, you know, humor like mine doesn't confine to the laws of science.
I'm skeptical.
Look, I realize this is all primarily an excuse to show off rippling muscles, give or take. But countering criticisms of gratuitous nudity with, they can't afford shirts, you classist jerks, is actually fairly clever for this franchise. Not clever enough to explain why they all wear jorts exactly, but it's a sliding scale of cleverness.
Excuse me, do these effectively hide my thunder?
Now they're taking Bella to some random house to talk it all over, and one of the boys is like, hey, don't mention how utterly disgusting this one guy's fiance's face is.
It bugs Sam.
Apparently it got shredded when they got in a fight earlier.
The wolf girl. Well, I'm engaged to one.
Wait, does that mean she's saying that her fiance is a woman?
Very progressive.
Wolf fact.
We can hear each other's thoughts.
Second wolf fact, they just love muffins. Hot damn, look at the size of those muffins.
Damn it.
Wolf fact the third, only some of these dudes have the gene, and apparently it only presents when vampires are around? Are vampires and werewolves related somehow?
This chick f***s with vampires.
Here's a confusing gay metaphor using wolves.
Well, can't you find a way to just stop? I mean, it's wrong.
It's not a lifestyle choice, Bella. I was born this way. I can't help it.
Fourth wolf fact, they still have a treaty with the Cullens or whatever, but don't the Cullens move a lot? What claim do they really have to this area? Oh, right. Elsewhere in the woods, Victoria, who by the way, is around, is chased by some wolves, and it causes a random Native American guy to have a heart attack, and I know that somebody in the comments is gonna be like, that's not a random guy, that's Jacob's grandfather on his mother's side, and his penis is like a mighty oak. God, read the book. But you know what? He's dead now. Oh, mommy. And so is his penis. Rip Grandpa Penis. He doesn't care if you defend him or his mighty oaken penis anymore. I don't need to learn his name. Oh, hey, here are some naked green screen boys shoving each other off cliffs, which gives Bella a great idea for later. No, she's not gonna make out with some naked green screen boys. She's gonna yeet her own ass off a cliff. Don't worry, she's fine. Oh, Jacob saves her actually, so it is actually fine. And also Victoria's floating around here looking like evil Ariel, aka sexy Ariel. Just floating out there with her who's its and what's its galore. Probably rocking some beautiful, what do you call them? Feet. But who cares, right? No big deal. I want more feet pics.
I got 20.
The light has changed quite a bit.
Dave, you think anybody's watching this like, I think the light's changing a little bit? It's sort of taking me out of the realism of Jordan and his sister's childhood bedroom.
It's all right.
Jacob and Bella have yet another moment, and literally nothing else, because this is the cinematic equivalent of edging for repressed Christian kids.
I wouldn't let that happen.
But then whoops, Alice shows up because she had a vision of Bella yeeting her ass off a cliff.
Recreationally, it was fun.
And thought that she would die, but oh thank God you didn't die. But also Alice, if she had died, you'd be a little late, wouldn't you? That was like 12 hours ago. Which makes me think that Alice only came looking for Bella like to steal her wallet, you know?
Would you like to explain to me how you're alive?
She thought she died and came to like take her GameCube, and then she's like, oh, you didn't die?
I saw a vision of
A gigantic pile of money.
Ooh, fifth wolf fact, they're terrible dinner guests.
werewolves are not good company to keep.
Always clumsily knocking over with their bushy tails. They have a terrible taste in wine. They prefer to eat meat that's raw and wriggling. I guess they do keep a civil tongue at least.
What are we?
Werewolves, not werewolves.
Speak for yourself.
Sorry. Let's get back to the sad moment they were having.
You don't have to do this to each other.
Yeah, legally you should probably stop doing this. Yes, but I have to keep plowing ahead so I can feed these kids that I keep making.
How many are here and how long are they staying?
Then there's a phone call, and turns out it's Ed, who is sad and living in Brazil, just like my brother-in-law when he was 12 before he moved to America. He's Brazilian.
Yep.
But Jacob answers and confusingly mentions that Bella's dad is at a funeral for the dead Native American with the oak dick, but Ed assumes he means Bella's funeral post-ass yeet, and is like, well, guess I'm gonna go eat rigatoni until I die.
Raviolis and some rigatonis and...
He wants to die.
Forget about it!
And Alice and Bella are like, uh-oh, road trip! And now they're all in Italy, which is a stupid place for vampires, considering it's like 80% garlic.
Yeah, it's all garlic and crosses. Like, that's like the worst place to go to. You're right.
But the Council of Italians are like, nah, we're not gonna kill you, Ed, but if you want to become Italian, we'll arrange a marinara transplant and make you call soccer football. And he's like, that actually makes me want to kill myself even more. So he decides that he's gonna flash a bunch of Italian muggles, revealing that he's a vampire, or, I mean, honestly, it's just gonna reveal that he's really shiny, which wouldn't immediately make me think, oh, that guy's a vampire, but rather, wow, that guy just got out of a strip club at noon, which is unusual. Whatever, rules are rules, and whipping it out means instant death. And Dave over here is super stoked that these rules don't apply in real life. He's always telling me that, even when we aren't watching Twilight, which is most of the time. He's always like, isn't it great that we don't have to die when we whip it out in front of people? And I'm like, I mean, it's still a crime. And you're like, not if you're fast. And I'm like, that's true. You're quick.
Yeah? Well, we're faster.
But Bella tackles Ed before he can fish out his little leech. And he admits that he lied about wanting to break up. And actually, he still likes her, which is why he used the DENNIS system on her.
That, my friends, is the key to winning any girl's heart.
Shocking revelation here. But the Italians still want to talk to them, so they head down some tunnels and they give Ed a robe. What happened to his shirt? He had a shirt, he just took it off.
Oops.
I don't know, but the head Italian is like, you know, I can read the entire history of your thoughts just by touching you, because I guess he's got some Reverend Mother adjacent skills, but he is a boy, meaning that he could very well be the Kwisatz Haderach.
Listen, I gave.
Which would be a lot more interesting than just the fact that, oh no, he can't read Bella either. Oh no, But here we are.
I see nothing.
Also, they decide that Bella would be cool to suck mostly dry since she has weird powers, potentially, and wouldn't that be cool if she was a vampire? Who knows? But Ed's like, no, sucking her would be my thing. So they fight a bit. Until Alice eventually is like, look, I'll suck her.
I'll change her myself.
I bet you will.
After all, I've seen a vision of her and Ed literally frolicking as vampires, and the Italians are like, okay, but if we check in later and find that she's not been sucked and is still a human, we're gonna be like so mad.
Goodbye.
And like, that's it? Why do Italians even exist? Just to eat entire tour groups?
Yes, they do look rather juicy.
Honestly, it is such a shit attempt at world building. Now they're back in Washington State, and Ed is still like, I don't want to suck you yet. I'm not sure where you are on the Jordan's wife Dave scale of attractiveness.
Wait.
That wasn't written, Dave. I just saw you out of the corner of my eye and threw up a little bit in my mouth and decided to roll with it.
Oh, I thought you were saying you were hitting on me.
No. You're at the wrong end of the scale, my guy. Anyway, Ed is like, I don't want to suck you yet. And Bella's like, well, why don't we make your family vote on it? Which, who gives a shit what they think? This is your life? But whatever, they vote to suck her until she becomes a vampire, which propels them to the top of the worst in-laws ever list.
Yep, it's all bullshit.
And even still, Ed won't immediately do it.
I want you to be the one to do it.
I bet you will.
And they talk to Jacob in the woods, I guess, and Jacob is like, you know, that if you suck her, that ends our truce. Because apparently it's contingent upon you not turning any humans into vampires. And like, okay, when was this treaty ratified exactly? Ed was only bit 90 years ago. They act like this has been a feud for millennia. Maybe it feels longer for werewolves because 90 years is like 630 years in dog years, right?
These are trade secrets.
But whatever, Ed's not worried about it, though he does say, can I bite you, Bella, in like, I don't know, like 5 years? And Bella is like, God, just do it, just suck my cherry dry. And he's like, I can't, unless we're married. Marry me! Cut to credits as the Pope, who's probably an Italian vampire, nods in approval.
Marry me, Bella.
I want you to suck me. I want to be a vampire. I want to do what you do. I want to run fast. I want to live forever.
No, you don't want to be a vampire. You don't want any of that. You know I can't go into Olive Garden.
Oh.
'Cause
the garlic.
The
yeah,
garlic.
The garlic. Oh my God. It's like wall to wall in there.
Yeah.
What's it like being a werewolf? That sounds hard too.
I haven't eaten any solid food in ever. I only drink deer blood.
Oh.
Yeah, imagine what my are like.
I can't even.
No.
I don't want to.
Just urine.
Guess I never really considered that.
Yeah.
There's a lot for me to ponder.
Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna go watch another movie and see if there's any more insights.
Okay.
But do you think there's any value in it?
Yeah. Yeah, marriage has value.
New Twilight movie, new Summit Entertainment logo. Happy to see they're spending their vampire money well. I can't wait to see what they'll come up with next! But as far as the actual movie, here's a boy leaving a wet bar and getting clobbered and bit. It's fun when you get smashed in a bar, but outside it, cannot recommend it. Even more of a bummer, Ed and Bella sit in a Naboo flower field and they're like, marry me, only if you suck me into a vampire, only if you marry me, proving that supernatural PDA can be just as obnoxious as normie PDA.
Marry me.
No.
Marry me.
Change me.
Marry me.
I can't.
Kill me!
Okay, I will if you marry me.
Also, like, why would she want to be changed and not married? I mean, the whole reason is to change for him, right? Forever?
Marriage is just
Gay! Where I'm from. Gay!
She's not particularly interested in the immortality or ability to eat steaks that are like so rare. She sort of suggests like, God, you can't be married when you're 18.
the way one says I just got knocked up.
The embarrassment. But at the same time, they're like, as soon as you become a vampire, you have to leave your family forever and pretend you're dead. So, feels moot? Just marry him. He'll suck you. You'll be done with it.
Suck.
So anyway, that's one major conflict. But the second one is Bella's dad would really prefer if she'd suck Jacob, actually.
He's going through a really tough time right now. His dad's really worried about him.
Give it back. Yeah?
I remember when that was you. Jake was there.
Return the favor.
But third conflict, she hasn't spoken to Jacob in a while, and she can't even drive to the reservation because Ed dicked with her truck.
Hey, did you do this to my truck?
I can neither confirm nor deny details of any such operation without the Secretary's approval.
Which, on a sliding scale of dating Edward red flags, is pretty low, but it still counts. And fourth conflict, Alice wants to throw a graduation party, but everyone is like, kill yourself, Alice, you dumb bitch.
Another party, Alice.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, that's what you said last time.
Oh, mommy!
You're just a harmless
Remember your last party, you stupid slut? And she is devastated. She is probably looking for an Italian right now to kill her. That's the only way. That's the lore. Oh my God. Vampires are Koopas. Fifth conflict. Vampires are murdering people all over Seattle.
Tossed salads and scrambled eggs.
Okay, that's it. That's all the conflicts. I'll stop that bit. Me doing the bit was actually the sixth conflict, but I won't even point that out.
Oh.
Oh, hey, Bella, don't forget about the airline tickets that Edward's parents bought you. You know, the ones that'll expire soon. The ones that'll take you to Florida to see your mom, one of which is a companion ticket for Ed. Does this ring any bells? Bella!
My parents wanted to remind you about the
one-way ticket to Pound Town.
It expires soon, so you might want to use it this weekend.
Now they're in Florida, and her mom got her a graduation present. A box of old shitty t-shirts. Oh, that must be heavy, right? I guess she's just trying to offload it. Classic mom stuff.
Enough with the heavy.
Between this and the scrapbook in the previous movie, Bella's mom just sucks the entire ass at presents. What did she get her ex-husband for his last birthday? A postcard with a picture of her hooking up with a minor league baseball player, paperclip to divorce papers? Boring.
Not a bad thing. It's an intense thing.
Isn't it weird that the Cullens are back? Didn't they have to move because Daddy Cullen was getting way too weirdly sexy? They're like, are you sure you're 50? Cause damn.
How do you do it?
Years and years of
Pilates.
You should move. I don't know, but look, here they are, chasing Victoria, who has now gained the lesser-known vampiric ability to turn into Bryce Dallas Howard. And she then crosses the river to the wolf side, so they chase her for a bit, and I don't know, man. You need something to cut to in between sad conversations between sad teens. You might as well just be like, oh look, here's a running redhead.
Thank you, God!
Oh, shit. Speaking of, there's Jacob looking wet, and man, that music is kick-ass. He just wants to tell Ed that they are so pissed that one of Ed's brother vamps, Emmett, barely scooched a toe over the line into their territory, as if their millennia-old blood feud is like a game of middle school dodgeball. They're like, he was out! He stepped on our side! We're gonna cause an entire supernatural war because he was out!
If you're kind, come on our land again.
We're going down! Gary, you can't! They're like one step away from using tape lines to mark the areas, like shitty siblings in a shitty sitcom. Oh, and also twist, I guess Ed lied about Victoria being back in town?
I was trying to protect you.
Has she ever not been in town? I don't know. But an upset Bella revenge rides Jacob's pocket rocket to, I guess, a gangbang with all his naked relatives?
Hey, look who's gonna get
You too?
And look at that! Now there's a hot lady wolf. And do those clothes shredding naked rules apply to her? Oh my god, they do! Chase her to see what happens when she transforms back. Side note, it's funny to be like, we don't wear shirts because they rip, but shorts are so inherently valueless that we don't really mind, I guess.
It's not a chick thing.
I didn't say it was. I'm just trying to help you save money, God.
Doesn't he own a shirt?
Okay, whoa, Edward, that's classist.
Come on, don't be such a guy.
Jacob and Bella then have an extremely nonsensical conversation about how sometimes werewolves will imprint on somebody.
Do I even want to know what that is?
Which apparently means they will just like fall super in love with them, but it's fine because Jacob hasn't done that to or with Bella yet, so.
Imprinting on someone is like...
Gay! It's so gay!
By the way, the clobbered dude from the intro is a vampire now, and he's smelling Bella's shit, and Ed is smelling him, and I'm smelling Dave, and we are all having a bad day.
Sorry.
Jacob is like, whoa, if dudes are smelling your shit, I want to help protect you. And Ed is like, that makes me mad. And Bella is like,
I'm Switzerland, okay?
But I guess Ed agrees because now Jacob is protecting her, which means hanging out with her at the secret werewolf council meeting, which apparently means telling werewolf history around a campfire that's actively shitting ash into our long, luscious locks. So here's the history. Werewolves existed, and they ran into a mean vampire who was like every male mythical creature who walks within 20 yards of Bella and...
hard like stone.
And they kill him. But then his lady lover shows up and kills most of them, but before she can kill their one last wolf warrior dude, that guy's wife stabs herself in the stomach, which causes her to bleed, which smells great, and distracts the vampire lady long enough for the warrior guy to kill her. Now, I'm no doctor. Oh wait, I am a doctor! Then believe me when I tell you there are ways to draw blood that don't involve fatally impaling your stomach. That's a breeding fact. For example, you could just fail to introduce a fertilized egg into the uterus. Am I right, Dave? That's another breeding fact. Coming soon, Bread with Knowledge t-shirts. Pre-order now. I do actually have shirts. They do not say that though. Yet! Pre-order now! None of that matters because the dude from the intro who's now a sniffing vampire and is building an army for some reason is originally from Forks and named Riley. And Bella's cop dad explains he's been missing for a year and she's like, well, I guess you should give up on him, huh?
Disappeared over a year ago.
You think they should just give up?
He's like,
well, I wouldn't.
Also, the Italians are seemingly aware of this army, but really all we see is just Dakota Fanning and the rest of My Chemical Romance. But they don't intend to do anything about them yet. Pre-order Dakota Johnson and My Chemical Romance fight newborn vampires now. I don't know if it's a shirt or just a nebulous idea, but either way, get it while it's cold.
When I was a vampire, my dad...
Later, Jacob is like, I love you. And Bella's like, I love Ed. And he's like,
I don't buy it.
And she's like,
what don't you buy?
And this is just what this whole series is. Limply arguing and whining about love shit.
That's how I feel.
Oh no, action scene.
Feel that? Flesh and blood. And
penis!
Which may technically count as dog abuse. This makes Ed and Jacob almost fight again, but they're thwarted by chill-ass Daddy being chill.
Let's take it down a notch. All right?
Daddy, chill.
Jacob's like,
she broke her hand.
Except,
it's just a sprain.
That's why you should only listen to doctors. 16-year-old wolves are terrible with medical advice. That's another breeding and a wolf fact. Double fact! Backstory moment. The blonde vampire, who I've never told you the name of, which is Rosalie, was like this Prohibition-era chick who was mobbed to almost death by a bunch of mean dudes that were like this, say.
That's ridiculous. No, it's not.
And then Daddy Cullen turned her into a vampire, so she killed all of them. In case you were curious, I bet you weren't.
You hate me so much.
And hey! Bella graduated, which is a small miracle considering all the concussions and how much time she spends getting passed around from mythical beast boy to mythical beast boy. And wait, Alice did throw a party? I thought we all agreed that she should kill herself for even hinting that she might.
The decision's been made.
We're gonna party till we're purple.
Also, another Muse song? I I guess Matthew Bellamy does look like a vampire, but the party doesn't last long because Alice has a vision of bad guys a-coming.
Hold up. What damn army?
And Jacob is like, well, we werewolves would love to help fight because the whole point of YA novels is entire fantastical worlds essentially setting themselves on fire and throwing thousands of years of history and precedent to assist the most boring of white girls.
You hate me so much.
They spend so much time protecting her from shit. It's just like, it could be over at any moment. If she was a vampire, nobody would be trying to kill her. Or her.
This is what we do. You should be happy.
But no, the vampires and the werewolves come together and they're like, all right, what do we need to know?
Jasper has experience with newborns. Teach us how to defeat them.
It's just a baby.
Shoot it in the head!
Well, newborn vampires are stronger than average, so
never let them get their arms around you.
Because they will crush you like a meatball between Dave's Italian thighs. They're like, cool, sounds good. How about you vampires do some weak-ass practice fighting? Perfect.
Never go for the kill. They'll be expecting that.
Another backstory moment. Turns out old Jasper here was a major in the Confederate Army during the Civil War, which I've been hinting at with my expert level foreshadow editing, until he wandered off and ran into 3 sexy women, as one does.
Lovely.
And got turned into a vampire by them. He then helped the sexiest vampire woman build an army until he realized she was just using him. Either way, 1860s Confederate Jasper probably says lots of uncomfortable things during the Cullen Thanksgiving dinners where they suck the live turkeys dry.
I never lost a fight.
Oh my god, twist! Victoria is behind the impending vampire army. Holy shit! Holy shit! I never would have guessed that.
Welcome to the army.
The ceremony of meat.
The movie acts like this is some sort of reveal, but who else would it be?
His name is John Cena!
Also, she's got this vampire boy just pussy whipped. Fair. Oh, hey! One of the vampires is that girl from Silent Hill. Fun!
Meow, meow, meow.
Watch your taints, vampires! She will get right up in there! Ed and Bella decide Bella needs to be hidden, and the only way to do that is to smother her scent with Jacob's overpowering beefy boy musk.
Dude, you really don't want to start comparing stinks.
So he literally has to carry her to the top of a mountain when they should have just gotten a skunk to spray her, or had Jacob pee on her like Dave keeps suggesting we do to me for no reason. I'm not being hunted by anybody, dude. Except corporate digital media companies, probably. They hate what we're building. Piss on me, Dave, so they can't find me.
Done.
Well, now that that's over, Jacob and Bella have another couple love arguments, and at one point, Bella calls him
Chief.
Which, I don't think you're allowed to do that, Bella.
Chief Jacob.
Stop saying that!
People are mad about the football team. I'm sure they'd be mad about you just calling him that out of hand.
I can sense how I make you feel. Physically.
Oh yeah, is that what you think, Chief? Maybe you should spend a little less time with Jasper, Bella?
They won't want to get anywhere near his odor.
That's racist.
There are rules. I can call Dave a sentient meatball, no problem. But if he calls me an Appalachian Hill person, I legally get to beat the shit out of him.
They were very common in the South.
Oh, and don't worry.
Your alibi for the battle is all arranged.
Really?
Bella can now hang out with Ed for the night in his sexy house, all sexy and alone, while the rest of the vampires go.
Powering up for the battle?
Oh God, I'm so worried about the battle. The great battle, it cometh! But you know who doesn't cometh? Bella. Because Ed's old school and she's a virgin.
Old school. Great. What's that, like code for...
Wild, free, passionate, unbridled sex.
Oh my god, Dad?
Seriously, Bella even tries to be like, I won't marry you until we have sex, and Ed is like, I can't! I'm old school, and...
It might be too late for my soul, but I will protect yours.
It's ancient.
Oh my God, he is so obsessed with her soul. Just...
That is disgusting.
Who likes that?
But anyway, then he proposes to her with a big-ass dead mommy ring, and she says
yes.
Which is good, because earlier, her super divorced dad gave an incredibly thoughtful and impassioned argument as to why marriage is important.
Yeah. Yeah, marriage has value.
Thanks, Dad! That's Literally all he says. Well, if you say so, Charlie. So now they're gonna go to their mountain to hide, I guess, which means that Jacob needs to carry her again? Because I guess the first time was literally just a practice run? Or maybe they need 2 coats of his slick sweat.
Same old, same old.
But oops, at the top of the mountain, Bella gets really cold, and cold-ass Edward can't do anything to help, so she gets snuggled by hot-ass Jacob.
I am hotter than you.
He's not wrong. And he and Ed talk about how Jacob would be better for Bella, and again, he's not wrong. There's virtually nothing at all to like about Ed, except that he's obsessed with her, which Jacob also is. I guess he's of legal age, which is nice. I mean, Jacob is hotter, he's not immortal, nor is he gonna make her immortal / dead to slowly lose her mind over the next trillion millennia. He's not 100 years older than her. He lives in the area, their dads are friends. I don't know, Ed's got nothing going on, really.
I can't tell if you're right.
Cope.
Jacob is crabs to Edward's gonorrhea. Still not something you want to catch, but clearly the better option.
Can you at least attempt to control your
penis? In the morning, it turns out that it snowed harder than when Elsa from Frozen stubs her toe, and Ed pulls a last-ditch accidental reveal that he and Bella are engaged, which makes Jacob, he's just done. He's like so done.
I'm done. I'm so done.
So to calm him down, Bella lets him kiss her so that hopefully he'll be erect enough to puncture some newborns to death here in a minute. God, these films are poetry.
Again, it's like poetry, so if they rhyme.
Don't let him hug you.
This is supposed to be territory.
Speaking of, the bad guys are almost here, and all that stands between them and Bella is the band Attack Attack. Good luck, newborns. That's some sexual man chocolate right there. Just kidding, they're all very white. That's just the main song of theirs that I know.
This next one's called Sexual Man Chocolate.
Grabcore. So they're fighting.
Caleb is dead.
And the werewolves get in on the action, and in the lead up to this battle, the movie kept assuring us that the Confederate racist war criminal traitor to America,
They were very common in the South.
Jasper, was gonna come up with some brilliant plan, even though his side lost. But the wolves don't even, attack from behind. They sort of just jump out and are like, "Rah, surprise!" That's some Stonewall Jackson getting friendly fired and having his arm fall off. Shit. I got an idea. What if we just fire at random?
Start blast.
I mean, it's my American right to do it.
Also, apparently vampires shatter like ice, especially if you rip their heads off. Riley shows up and finds Bella, but gets his shit bit off. And then Victoria shows up, and she and Ed fight, and then Riley gets back up and fights some too, but then Bella pulls the old stabbing yourself as a distraction, I guess. And this works, of course, and Ed kills Victoria by biting her head off. And Riley dies too, but I forget how. Probably from a broken heart. I mean, everybody is such a pussy in these movies. Victoria! Reading fact. Vampire bodies are crazy flammable. Oh hey, look! Dakota Fanning and My Chemical Romance show up looking weird and Italian. Sorry for saying the same thing twice. And together they silence that one girl's hilly ass, even though she surrendered. That was a Silent Hill pun. Sorry, that's all I had. They silence her hilly ass?
Who created you?
I think this is supposed to tease that they're nefarious in some way, but that's also how, the last movie ended. Dakota just seems mean. And now, she's still mean. A mean girl, if you will. And also, there's one more hugger vamp alive, and he gets Jacob and tries to Lenny him to death before they can kill him.
The bones on the right half of his body are Jello pudding pops.
So now Jacob is sad and injured and sweaty, and he's wet, and he's hot, and he's naked, and oh my god. Never have I less felt the need to pay attention to a movie for one of these videos.
Oh, damn.
Literally. Transformers was long and boring, but at least they were trying to do some plot stuff and other things. This is literally just the same 2 or 3 arguments about who does or should like who, and for what reason, over and over and over and over until I shove a rigatoni inside of my eyeball and a cannoli up my ass.
Super Italian!
I was gonna do that anyway, to be totally fair. We have our post-filming celebration.
It's time for cool down.
I'm gonna do it right.
Anyway, the wedding is planned for August 13th, but no rush, except that Bella is like, God, I'm just so not normal. I'm so unique. I don't fit in. Besides, the half dozen friends I made here on literally day one.
Doesn't matter.
The only reason you don't have a better social life is because you're boring as shit and sad all the time. That's not unique, that's a medical disorder. Get some hobbies or antidepressants and stop dating 100-year-old men or 16-year-old boys.
I've never felt normal.
But yes, I will confirm for August 13th. I'm also bringing Dave as my +1, so make sure you have a lot of pasta. He loves pasta. He's like, yummy, yummy, yum, and then he'll keep going, mwah, mwah, you know. That's Dave. I just did a Dave.
No. Sorry.
Why don't we have sex anymore?
Remember that one time we had sex?
I do.
It was so hard that the bed broke.
I know.
And we just got that Tuft and Needle mattress too.
Ugh, that was pricey. You punctured it in many places.
Yeah.
But I like, you know, bruised parts.
But I like a good mattress too, and...
Look, if you would just turn me into a vampire, then I could match you in strength. If you don't want to hurt me, you gotta make me strong.
Why don't you get on top?
That's actually a good idea. I don't know why.
And then I'll just, like, put my hands behind my back. I won't grab onto anything.
I'm pregnant.
I gotta go get something. I'm gonna go get some milk.
Why are you getting milk? You're a vampire. You can't even drink it. Whatever, me and Gary are just gonna watch the next movie.
Will there be strippers?
No, just a couple of mountain lions.
New Summit production stinger! Oh, that alone justifies breaking the final book into 2 movies.
At a certain age, the child is grown and puts away childish things.
Oh, you mean like the Twilight series? You burnt!
I am hotter.
You burnt.
Okay, so Jakey is all mad because he received an unwanted wedding invite. And Alice is planning the whole thing, and she wishes that Bella didn't suck so much at high heels.
You just have to
stop sucking.
And that night, Ed is like, okay, I got one more secret I feel compelled to share. And Bella's like,
You're not a virgin?
And, well, is he a virgin? He doesn't answer, and we've made such a big deal about Bella's intact hymen. It only seems fair that we learn how many miles are on Ed's ice-cold penis.
I figure on at least 1,000.
You can't scare me away now.
Is that too much? This is real life. People have hymens, Dave. No, I don't know where. I'm an English major.
No, English lit.
But that's not Edward's secret. We may never know his hymen status. His real secret is that back when he got turned, he hated the whole not eating human blood thing, so he left on his own for a while and sucked a bunch of molesters. Hey man, Dave went to college too. He's been there. Bella obviously doesn't care that Pattinson is basically soft-pitching his idea for a Batman prequel starring him. She's like,
Edward, they were all murderers.
Which is not what he said, I don't think.
All the men I kill were monsters.
Dave is always explaining to me the difference between molesters and murderers for some reason. He's like, one has more attached jail time. Don't get him confused.
The rumors about me are not true. I'm not really Italian.
That's what I told myself.
But Ed's like, I'm telling you all this just to say it really sucks being thirsty for molesters for all of eternity.
Speak for yourself.
So are you sure you want to be a vampire? And she's like, it's fine. You did it, and you're a big fat pussy.
I know I can do this because you did.
Speaking of, it's time for your bachelor party, and...
Will there be strippers?
No, just a couple of mountain lions. Maybe a few bears.
Well, what about otters or twinks? Or twunks? Will there be any of those?
My hunch is that this gentleman has gone from a twink to a twunk to a twank.
It was very convincing.
Sadly, the movie doesn't show us. Guess I'll have to write yet another Twilight fan fiction that makes like $1 trillion. And then Dave and I can, I don't know, fly off into the sunset.
It was very convincing.
Why have I never noticed this weird-ass dog painting before? Ugh, she is so unique.
Ah, it's beautiful.
And pretty much now it's the wedding. And hey, I've played this song at weddings before in real life. I didn't know the song was tainted. Ugh, Dave, suck the taint from my finger calluses, quick! The rest of the wedding goes about how you'd expect, including shots of random people you've never seen before, and Edward's big reveal first look shot, also including this goofy-ass dude in the blurry background.
His Hard Rock Cafe t-shirt.
Yeah. He's holding like 2 beer bottles. This is emotional, Dad!
Please repeat after me.
Oh my God, are you marrying that chick? That chick's hot, dude! They say their vows and make out for a long time. Like, unless you're a perv or a vampire, which, same thing, you would feel very weird if you were in the audience just looking at these 2 teens slobber their juices down each other's chins. I mean, I get that they're married, but...
Do you think it's too much?
No.
Not at all.
No.
Bella's dad really sucks, by the way.
Well, I plan on getting drunk. I look hot.
Honestly, one of the worst movie dads of all time. Dude does not give a shit.
Because I'm a cop.
Hey, here are some shit toasts.
Now that you're my sister, you'll have to get over your version of
fornication, treason, incest.
As somebody who has edited several wedding videos, let me assure you that this movie is much more boring than an actual wedding video. And it's so much longer.
Go to sleep.
Oh look, here are some hot cousins from Alaska.
From Alaska.
But aren't the Cullens adopted? Like, they're almost certainly not blood cousins. Like, I guess what I'm saying is, do I have to bring them to Virginia to marry them? Or can I do it right here?
I can't do this. You promised.
I don't know. But they are sad because werewolves are at this party. But they must be from Jasper's side of the family.
They were very common in Alaska.
Speaking of, Jacob slinks out of the woods and is like, I'm fine now, and also...
Kind is my middle name.
Dave highly doubts that. Dave just mouthed, isn't he Chinese to me off camera? And like, no! Dave, he's Native American. Good grief, dude.
He's not Chinese?
No.
Chief Jacob.
Ooh, so close.
Sorry.
Not Chinese.
Doesn't matter.
Anyway, these two kind good buddies chat briefly about how Ed is just gonna bang Bella's brains out before transforming her into a vampire, and Jake is super pissed because he's like, you're gonna bang her to death!
You'll kill her!
High five.
I had this exact same argument with my wife's former lover on our wedding night too.
That's a sick joke.
Ugh, but what's a wedding night without a will the husband bang the wife so hard she dies argument between her lovers?
You are joking.
Anyway, here's Jacob wailing like a werewuss. Ed and Bella honeymoon in Brazil, specifically on a private Brazilian island. And Ed is like,
You want to take a look around?
my penis?
Yeah, that sounds nice.
That's what he said. He said that. Ed is crazy.
Don't take too long, Mrs. C.
We spent a good 5 minutes here watching Bella prepare for sex via montage.
Don't be a
And then skinny dip with her new husband on janky green screen before... Oh, God, this song is so tainted. I am unclean.
I could kiss you.
What's stopping you?
Ed bangs so hard that the bed basically explodes. Fun fact, this shot is actually from my wedding night. They just green screened Kristen Stewart in there. Ironically, Robert Pattinson was also there, but he was just doing research for another film.
What?
That's right. Daddy banged and exploded. You guys think I'm just some YouTube nerd, but no. I have sex, and it causes property damage.
Don't ruin this.
I've already ruined it.
In the morning, Bella finds Ed and is like, I've much enjoyed the sex, my good sir. I have arrived many a time. And he's like, yeah, well, I bruised you a lot. And like, A, my man.
High five.
And B, that's canon, because 50 Shades of Grey is a horny fanfic of Twilight. Go watch my other video.
I'm ready for the juice. Go ahead.
Okay. I don't explain that, but I do explain 50 Shades of Grey. That's pretty funny.
Give me the Give me the juice. Ow. That's too much, Daddy. That's too much juice.
Also, this explains the fan fiction joke I made a few minutes ago. I like to write jokes out of order so that my videos feel like a Christopher Nolan movie.
I guess I've already told you about my condition.
Funny every time I see you.
But regardless, Ed is like, no more sex for you, little missy. From now on, it's only chess, the sex of the brain. Which, I mean, to the right woman is much hotter. It stimulates the mind, the biggest sex organ on most people.
I mean, it was amazing for me.
For me, it's second only to my huge throbbing areolas.
It's like, I shoot these things with you, and people are like, Dave, what are you shooting? Can I?
Dave, what do you do for a living?
Can I see one of these videos?
You cannot.
You cannot see them.
That's what you're worried about.
None of this is actually bad enough that like an advertiser couldn't advertise on it.
Yeah.
So I love when YouTube flags one of these and then they have to do a human review because I request one, and one guy's like, I mean, it's fucking weird, but I don't know if it's like you can't have a beer ad against it.
Right. Is progressive car insurance gonna be okay?
Yeah.
Wow. Incredible, isn't it?
Yeah. I can't imagine that it gets any better than that.
If it feels like I'm not talking about much of anything, it's because there's not much of anything to talk about. I don't know if there's ever been a movie where less has happened. Truly, this is an experimental non-movie. A24 level shit here.
Do you want it? You are not night.
So, what now? Okay. Bella begs Ed for more sex, but he refuses.
Please.
And like, dude, you could satisfy her in other ways. Other unselfish ways, my guy. But, damn, I guess it's true. Batman really don't go down on the ladies, shakes my head.
Please.
So she's forced to choke down her own chicken, but oops!
It's gonna pop.
She gets instant salmonella. Except, oh no, actually.
My period's late.
Oh yeah, gross. Even just thinking about periods makes me want to puke.
It's gonna pop.
Oh, I bet he was smelling her period in the first movie. That actually makes a lot of sense.
Allstate's not gonna like that.
Yeah.
Now I'm emotionally compromised and whoopsies.
Bella's point here is that she's pregnant, which everybody thought was impossible. Like, for example, me. And yet here I am with 3 kids who feed on the blood of patrons. So sign up for my Patreon to feed my children blood. Ed is worried, so he's super fast, super packs, almost like he's gonna go out for a pack of smokes and come right back. That's the vibe he gives off.
Well?
And it almost feels like we're gonna get a plot, but no, it's just another slow motion needle drop for a bit as Bella spins and goes, "Ah, baby." Until a Brazilian housekeeper shows up because she thinks Ed is a vampire, I guess, and she wants to check on Bella.
Morte. You're gonna be keeping that promise for a while, Chief.
And Ed is like, okay, everybody calm down. We're just gonna give you an abortion, Bella. It'll be great.
Carla will get that thing.
Great.
Yeah. But also, yeah, right, not on the vampire Pope's watch. They tell Bella's dad that they're extending their trip, but in reality, they've been home for 2 weeks now, and Jake comes over and finds Bella looking rough.
You look terrible.
I am hotter than you.
Like, she nasty pregnant.
You did this.
High five?
Yes. Yes, he did. My God, he did. Daddy! But yeah, the baby is messing with her, and unfortunately, neither x-rays, nor needles, nor good storytelling can poke through its baby sack or whatever.
I can't see it either.
Nobody asked you, Bamba John.
So you don't really know what's going on in there. Ed asks Jacob to convince Bella to slaughter her baby, which I'm sure she'll do. But Jacob fails despite giving an Oscar-worthy performance.
Listen to me, Bella.
Abortion, 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 abortion.
And I'm not sticking around to watch. We'll see.
Glad we sent him in there to kill another 5 minutes of runtime. But oh no! Now the wolves know about Bella's abomination. And they have a wolf council where they're like, we definitely can't let that shit be born. I mean, look what happened to Elia from Dune.
He is the Kwisatz Haderach.
Jacob was like, whoa, I am pro Bella's life specifically, so he runs back to the Cullens and is like, okay, I guess I'm gonna protect you now. And I brought along this shitty little guy, I guess. Oh, and also the lady wolf, despite the fact that
you hate them too much.
And she's like, no, I'm cool. And he's like, okay, then.
You got my flank?
And like, I bet she does, bro. Sick. Get that flank action.
I'll do whatever you want.
The rest of the wolves settle in for a protracted siege, hoping to starve the Cullens out. And then the movie does yet another needle drop moment because it's trying to wait me out. To see if I'll stop watching. And I want to. God, I want to. But I gotta be strong. Also, like and subscribe to my channel, please. I'm dying. Not even from having sex too hard literally one time. Well, not only because of that, but that didn't help. Because I poked a hole in the drywall.
Then I'll hold on as long as I can.
Ed be Googling shit, and he realizes the fetus, like David Olive Garden, is eating faster than she can feed it, basically. And at this rate, she'll die before she can deliver. But she's like, well, I still need to keep it. Needle drop! Also, did she go method for this movie? Because she's really looking like some hot trash. Very Christian Bale in The Machinist-esque. Does that mean that she'll also be Batman someday? Don't rule it out. If there's one character from this series that I would imagine would become Batman later in another film, it would be Kristen Stewart.
You're gonna be a gay superhero.
Sure, I mean, I'm down.
The vampire doctor decides, hey, maybe the baby wants to drink blood, which, of course, that's what he'd prescribe. He's a vampire doctor. He's always like, you know what would really hit the spot right now is some blood.
You're gonna make her drink that?
Fastest way to test the theory.
Like, okay, Gary, not everybody wants to drink blood as much as you do. But whatever, they hand Bella a literal blood smoothie, and she drinks it, and it works, and it's very gross.
That's good.
and I guess they're giving her bags of human blood, which, maybe they should just find a supplier so they could do that all the time? Like, Daddy Cullen is a doctor, right? And rich? Could he not figure out a way to get regular human blood bank shipments? Would that not give them full-strength human blood without any negative moral implications other than, I mean, I guess humans need the blood and they won't get it. But really, it's their fault for crashing their cars and needing pediatric heart surgeries and stuff, right? I would rather that Ed not feel so hungry all the time.
I know the feeling.
One thing I just realized that I do appreciate about the movie, unironically, is that I guess when vampires have red eyes, that means they're at full power because they've been drinking that sweet, sweet human blood. And when they're just sexy golden, that means they're as charged as they can be on like Bambi blood. But also when they're shitty brown and black, like now, that means they're hungry and haven't eaten at all. And I don't think anybody ever flat says this in the movie, so that's at least like one tiny world-building detail that is like pretty good and just is.
I feel much better.
Alrighty, where are we? Bella tells her dad that she's going to Switzerland, and he's like,
"You're not going to Switzerland? What are you said you were
Switzerland."
They both can't be true.
And Ed apologizes to Bella for being a shitty husband and is like,
Well, they say the first year is the hardest.
and I didn't find that to be true at all. We easily killed all the werewolves trying to murder us. People always say that, but like it doesn't have to be. This is why I'm a major proponent of getting married young before you're established and figuring your lives out together rather than building your own things and trying to combine them later in life. It's just way easier to defend against werewolf attacks like that. I mean, both are fine presumably, but I really don't think I'd have been able to have the career I'd had if I didn't have the support of my wife. Without her, I'd probably be living in some shithole Los Angeles apartment with 48 other crackheads weeping softly onto my sci-fi spec script that nobody wants. And instead, I'm in Charlottesville, begging internet strangers for money so I can make the stupidest and longest videos possible to feed my ever-growing brood of children that I've bred. Man, life, it's coming, it's fast, and it's wild, and it's breeding. T-shirts coming soon.
What was that?
I'm very distracted this video, I'm sorry.
I thought I just heard.
Maybe I should take a page out of Bella's book and gain energy by drinking Dave's blood?
Wait, what am I saying? I don't even know his blood type.
The baby likes his parents' voices. According to Ed's mind reading, I do not share that sentiment, baby.
What do you hear now?
Nothing. They're almost out of blood smoothie mix, and Bella could poop the baby out at any time. Again, English major. So they come up with a plan to break the siege with Jacob's help, who has realized
This really is a family. As strong as the one I was born into.
Great.
Yeah.
And Jacob pretends to sell them out, but
You played us!
Hey, don't hate the player, hate the game.
Whoa, sick plan! Are we sure Jacob isn't the immortal Confederate?
Chief.
Back at the Cullen compound, Bella is like, if this baby is a boy, I'm naming it Edward Jacob. Because even if I die, I want to be the trashiest of messes.
They're not that bad.
I mean, come on, you can't name your kid after your husband and your ex. You think I'm naming any of my children Dave Barack Obama? Of course not. That's ridiculous.
What's been going on while I've been gone?
But even worse, she's like, if it's a girl, I'm gonna name her Renesmee, which is stupid as shit. So hopefully she dies before they pick the name. Oh, okay, there we go. Daddy Cullen isn't back yet, so they have to attempt a C-section themselves, but that proves difficult since her blood is just so yummy. Ed goes in mouth first, which, as an English major, I assume is standard medical practice, but oh, shit, she died.
Bella.
Well, now they can name it whatever they want. Jordan Breeding rolls off the tongue. Plus, it's gender neutral if that matters to you.
No, that's not too weird.
Ed syringes Bella's chest, a la Pulp Fiction.
When you came pulling in here, did you notice a sign on the front of my house that said dead?
Bites her all over, a la Dave, probably after we finish filming, and Jacob is so sad. But the baby is fine, give or take being a CGI monstrosity. Mama. And Jacob imprints on her, so I guess he doesn't control that. It just sort of happens. I hope he's not gonna, have sex with the baby.
You would do anything, be anything she needs. A friend, a brother.
A very sweet and generous and respectful lover.
I don't understand the rules of this world, but I personally would not be comfortable with that. I don't care what Dave's $1 trillion Twilight fanfiction says.
Sorry.
Wolves show up to heroically kill that baby before it gets f***ed by Jacob, and there's a scuffle per usual. But when they realize Jacob has imprinted on the baby, they leave because not hurting imprintees is like
their most absolute law.
Convenient. Also convenient, Bella starts showing signs of life with a titty boost.
Big ass titties!
And then she somehow gets a bunch of makeup on, and then she opens her eyes, and they're red. Oh my god, it's the Bella Taker. In a mid-credits stinger, the Italians are initially like, great, she's a vampire. That means we don't have to be mad at the Cullens anymore, because that's what we asked them to do. But the one Italian is like, oh, they still have something I want, I guess.
They have something I want.
A gigantic pile of big-ass titties!
So that's it. That's the movie. What a movie. Breaking Dawn, this story into 2 parts was definitely not a sad cash grab. So much happened, right?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, Dave Barack Obama today was just wild. He was like trying to suck at an orange, and I was like, you can't even digest it.
You know, if you would have given him a better name, I don't think he would be acting out nearly as much.
I want to remember those I've loved before.
Barack Obama was your true love?
I didn't say true love, just a love.
I'm a love?
Yes.
Yeah, you didn't think that I would appreciate my namesake?
I honestly hadn't even considered it until just now.
Are you serious?
Look, they said, what's the name? And I don't know where you were. You were still getting milk, and I panicked, and I said, Dave Barack Obama, and they wrote it down, and they're not allowed to erase it.
You slept with Barack Obama?
I've told you this so many times.
This is making me very insecure right now.
How about this? We could adopt a kid, and we can name it whatever you want. Garbage lady, trash bitch. You know, whatever.
Why do you have to be so demeaning to garbage lady? She's not a trash bitch.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought they were 2 separate women. I didn't realize that was the same woman. I'm going to go watch the last movie, though, first.
Okay.
Because I'm still sort of holding out to see if I want to pivot. I just got to make sure there's no other werewolf secrets. And then we'll go to the orphanage, and we can get us a garbage lady trash bitch.
You nicknamed my daughter after the Loch Ness Monster?
Final movie means final brand new Summit logo. God, I feel like I've grown up alongside these Summit logos, you know? I'm gonna be sad to see their story conclude, but like all good stories, it must end. Sobs. I'm done.
Thank you, God!
Oh, good. And now we get involved opening credits suggesting, yeah, they're really out here trying to extend that runtime. For the fans!
The movies.
Bella is alive in a super vampire vision, and she and Ed are... Which, okay. No more getting utterly obliterated by cold feet under the covers every night. That's good. Also, isn't she supposed to be like crazy hungry or something? Ah, okay, there we go. She and Ed go hunting, and so far everything about being a vampire seems rad. Like, what was Ed so worried about exactly? Maybe he was confusing his vampireness with his gonorrhea? Like, buddy, you can have one without the other. Just ask Dave. Bella's having a lot of fun running and jumping and shit, except, oh no, she smells a shitty rock climber who scraped himself and is like, I want to eat him.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize there'd be people this far from the trails.
But actually, it's fine. She just noms a big cat instead.
At all?
I'm amazed.
They head home and Jacob smells like shit now.
Take a whiff.
Jake, you really do stink.
That's racist. And Renesmee is apparently still a freaky-ass CGI monstrosity for no clear reason. Lore-wise, I guess they thought it was supposed to look unusually intelligent or something because the baby's...
Growth rate is unprecedented.
Or whatever, but I don't know, man. It looks terrible.
Oh, girl, you nasty.
And not because I was like, wow, that looks otherworldly intelligent. She looks as stupid and fake as her name sounds.
What's your problem? Do tell her, Jacob.
I think she looks weird.
Should have named her David Barack Obama, probably.
What?
No, hey. Bella's pissed that Jacob wants to have sex with her baby.
She's a baby!
It's a wolf thing.
We can't be held responsible.
And even more pissed that he nicknamed it.
You nicknamed my daughter after the Loch Ness Monster? That last one wasn't so bad by comparison.
But Jacob's like, I promise I won't have sex with it. And even if I did, it's growing really fast, okay? I can wait. And who are you to talk anyway, Bella? I mean, we don't want to... You're gross too.
I've held her once.
But also, no, I don't want to have sex with the baby, I promise. I'm tuckered out now. I'm going to go sleep on the couch. Surprise!
Happy birthday.
Now it's Bella's birthday, and they bought or built or murdered the original owners and acquired Ed and Bella a new house. You can tell this is a fantasy story because it shows a millennial owning a home. Do the other vampire couples have their own houses?
My turn.
I don't know, but this one comes with a terrifying monkey cat monster doll and a bed made by the Amish because it's only for plowing because they don't sleep.
It's not intended for sleep.
This is a beautiful place to
Question, don't you need pumping blood for a boner? Maybe Ed has perpetual rigor mortis down there. Did he die with a full heart on? That's a hopeful thought, though it might ruin all funerals I attend from now on.
High five.
Okay, so now they're like, hey, we need to tell Cop Daddy that Bella's dead and that I'll never see her again, even though there's no rush. Like maybe when she's 50, her dad might be like, you seem really young still. But he also might be dead in 30 years? Like his hobby is drunk gun maintenance and his skin tone is Victorian child with TB. I'm giving him 5 years tops.
Hey.
So who cares? But it doesn't matter anyway because Jacob gets there first and f***s her dad? Is he hoping to bang him into an amnesiac state? Oh no, sorry. He's just showing him that he's a werewolf. I mean, maybe they also have sex, but we don't see that part.
Stranger things happen every day.
He also reveals that, yeah, Bella is alive actually. So now Daddy's gonna meet her and she has to put in human looking eye contacts and appear to sit humanly. Weirdly, in this scene, they left in the director's acting notes for Kristen Stewart for every single scene of this franchise.
Move around, blink, slouch.
Are you making a movie?
It goes fine. And again, I don't understand what the big deal is with letting him know, other than maybe the Italians will get mad, but like, forget about it! They've been pretty lenient with Bella knowing about Vampires 4 forever. How would they even really know anyway? We've only seen one vampire with an email address and it was disconnected. I don't know, but Bella is great at arm wrestling and sparkling and can project a protective mind shield now, I guess. And again, there appear to be basically zero downsides to all this. The only real issue is that Renesmee is growing weirdly fast and they think she might die soon because of Andre the Giant disease.
It just made every moment more precious.
Look, a snowflake.
Who cares?
Fortunately,
Edward thinks that we'll find answers in Brazil.
I mean, maybe. My 5'11" sister found her 6'7" husband there, and their child is probably gonna be freaking huge. So maybe the vampires can find the answer to why this baby is so freaking huge and why it can fly. Can Brazilians fly?
I've heard that.
Yep.
But they better do it quick because their
cousin from Denali
sees the kid and reports a crime, which causes Alice to have a vision of an Italian attack, which is not a new restaurant menu item at Olive Garden.
What is it now?
But it's the Italians will attack because they think Renesmee is actually a vampire kid, which is gross and should be destroyed because they historically suck at not sucking everyone to death. Also, the head Italian seems to just love killing children. Is that just an Italian thing, Dave? Or is that just a coincidence that you guys have the same hobby? Everybody's like, oh my god, what are we gonna do? How do we prove that Renesmee isn't a vampire kid, or a human kid for that matter, but a secret third thing? And like, can't the head Italian literally read every thought you've ever had? This will take maybe 12 seconds to clear up. This is a rom-com level misunderstanding. But no, their solution is to travel the world and find a bunch of witnesses who can attest to the fact that Renesmee isn't a vampire.
What if they don't like me?
That's almost a guarantee, you Megan-ass looking freak child.
It's hard to explain, but I need you to be open-minded. Can you do that?
This is a crime!
But that shouldn't affect their testimony, though again, this all seems like a ton of effort when they could just fly straight to Italy, clear this up, eat some Alfredo, look for Da Vinci's treasure, and call it a day.
And that's a pretty special thing.
Speaking of call, do vamps not have cells? A lot of problems in this series could be fixed with a family plan from T-Mobile.
At T-Mobile, you can save on every plan.
Impossible. It's true.
Or again, a functioning email address. But that would be too easy. So instead, they grab a bunch of weirdos like Rami Malek, who's apparently the Avatar.
Benjamin can influence the elements.
And some Amazon chicks that can make you see monkeys and shit in your mind. And Daddy Colin even
convinced his Irish friends.
The wee people have their magical ways.
And all told, they get like 18 total witnesses. Great. But also, this many vampires running around causes a bunch of new werewolves to appear or whatever. I don't know. We're almost done. Just bear with me. Wolf with me?
The Pax will
Okay, now everybody's like, no, actually, not even the witnesses will matter because the Italians, like Dave, have a history of slaughtering vampire covens in the past based on false evidence so that they can recruit new Italians with special powers or something to their cause.
Their goal isn't punishment, it's power, it's acquisition.
I guess this is probably the right time to ask, to what end? Like, what do the Italians do exactly? Why are they in charge of enforcing apparently literally the only one law that exists? Or maybe there's two laws. You can't flash people and you can't be a child. The Book of Vampire Laws is really more of a pamphlet. And why do they need more power and people with powers? Like, what do they do with the power? Is it that hard to stop people from flashing? Even I could keep Dave from like, he mostly doesn't do it anymore. This is sort of the problem with a lot of YA novels where they come up with some premise. Teenage girl wants to have sex with a vampire.
I'm coming.
You know, you're making a lot of sense.
But then it does well, and they feel obligated to continue to build out the world in sequels, but they're clearly not actually interested in that, or they're not good at that.
Benjamin can influence the elements.
You're not making sense anymore!
And so they just make up all this random crap, and it feels like such a massive waste of time. And I say this knowing that the alternative is more arguing about relational problems. But whatever. Ed is like, well, I guess we should fight. And these two chuckle dicks get real 1940s Greek and say,
we have been waiting a millennium for the Italian scum to be challenged.
And Ed is like, no, we need to do this so that you all can live the lives you want to live, which, to be clear, for all the other vampires, involves murdering humans and drinking their blood.
Their thirst for human blood complicated the situation.
Most of these vampires aren't vegetarian, so forgive me if I'm not crazy on board with the necessity of having vampires as unrestrained as possible.
Shame.
But whatever, the wolves will help out too, because honestly, they got nothing else going on.
I'm not racist, I just don't like werewolves.
Later, Ed sees that Bella is tense and is like,
how about a bath?
And then he leaves to run the water. But like, does that help? Can't she not feel things like heat anymore? None of this shit makes any sense, including Bella's realization that Alice, before she and Jasper disappeared for unknown reasons earlier, she gave Bella a secret message that points her to a Jay Jenks in Seattle. And it turns out that Jay Jenks is a friggin' goober who has procured, I guess, fake passports for Jacob and Renesmee so they can travel to and hide in Europe or something, because Renesmee doesn't have a future with her parents, I guess. I don't know if you know where Italy is, but it's Europe. That's closer to the Italians.
It's my mistake.
And Bella's like, makes sense. That kid was getting weird big. I'm trying to get rid of it.
Apparently that's not going to happen.
And she immediately tells her daughter,
Jacob will protect you. And he'll help you learn about the Takuna legends.
Which are the two main things that every kid needs. Top of the needs hierarchy.
It's a romantic notion, isn't it?
They also send Cop Daddy away with his new girlfriend slash wife slash lover who definitely knows her way around a penis.
Woman knows her trout.
Later that night, they have some sort of final pre-battle bonfire, and Ed is like, this feels like my fault somehow. And yes, Ed, it is your fault. If you just let Bella get hit by that truck, I wouldn't still be sitting here talking about your bullshit.
But at what cost?
Nothing. Okay, now it's the next day, and there's snow everywhere, and a ton of Sith-ass Italians march up, and Ed and his buds are all geared up for battle with their best battle jeans on. And oh, look to the east, dogs! And Ed walks up to the main Italian to prove his kid is fine, and the guy laughs like a lunatic and or an Italian. And it's like, I can hear her heart. And they're like, hey, cousin from Denali, did you lie? And she's like, well,
this child is bigger.
That's just baby fat, bro.
Which is not untrue.
I take full responsibility for my mistake.
But then Dakota Fanning makes Ed hurt for literally no reason that I can see.
Pain.
But it's fine, because Bella shields him with her biggest sex organ. And then the head Italian is like, okay, so I was just sitting here thinking, you know, just doing my little thinkies. And like, isn't it crazy how scary humans are now? Like, they've got some really big weapons, I just realized. Like, I saw Oppenheimer in IMAX the other weekend, and like, whoa, scary stuff. And so I'd prefer if my life was full of things I was sure about and knew well. And this half-breed baby is sort of giving me the willies, so I think the safe thing to do would be to kill it, you know? You guys tracking with my logic on this? It's all just coming off the dome. I'm just spitballing, so I apologize if it's a little rambling. You guys know how I get. Tell me if I'm rambling, please. This is a safe space, just not for that kid that we want to kill.
And we know nothing of what this child will become.
John C. But then Alice and Jasper magically appear from the woods and offer to provide additional evidence that the kid isn't a risk, and Alice very sneakily whips her whole body around and mouths "now" to Jake, like Dave asking if somebody's Chinese.
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
But Jake takes Renesmee away in case things get wild, and then Alice just kicks the shit out of the Italian. which causes Daddy Cullen to run up and get his head ripped off, which is absolutely hilarious. And then a battle begins in earnest with the highest concentration of bitch slaps and decapitations ever put to film. The Avatar also opens up an ice chasm to hell, which really doesn't help either side, right? Like now they both just have a new obstacle.
The reason I'm telling you all this is because I'm playing both sides so that I always come out on top.
I'd like to hear about it.
But actually, JK, lol, none of it matters because all of that was just a vision that Alice had that she was showing the head Italian.
That's your future.
Like literally none of that happened.
The whole thing was just a virtual reality experience.
And then Alice does bring out a Brazilian half vampire as proof that sometimes these kids grow up and they're fine. He was full grown at 7, but he's currently 150 and healthy as a horse, and he drinks blood and human food.
I am half human.
Half Brazilian, half Danish.
Half vampire.
That's right.
And the Italian's like, all right, good enough for me.
There is no danger here.
And then we get visions of Renesmee grown up, and then Bella somehow magically gives Ed a recap montage in his biggest sex organ. Ow! Shit. Was this a book? Damn it, did I just become cultured?
So I finished all the movies, and I've made my decision.
Who are you gonna pick?
Who I should have picked all along. Myself.
Oh, damn. Wait, are we married?
We're dead, so I don't think legally it's binding.
So what was the point of signing the contract?
Well, it was literally the only way you'd have sex with me.
Does this mean that our son doesn't have to be named after Barack Obama?
No, I get you keep saying this. We wrote it down and they can't erase it.
You just said it's not legally binding.
Well, he's alive. His part is done.
What's the difference between his name and our union? You tell me.
Okay, so when we became unionized, I wasn't dead, but then I was dead, and which I think it's until death, and I died. But David Barack Obama, he's not dead.
He's half dead.
Fine, we'll cut the David. We'll just call him Barack Obama.